Well, this is another old school WWE versus modern WWE recording. I'm taking my dog for another lap, so why not do it? Now, I know that we could have different names such as Victoria and China and Jazz, but in my opinion, it's star power that sells things, and they were stars, just not as much as these four, because I'm comparing four divas of the attitude of the ruthless aggression era, old school WWE, in comparison to the four horsemen of today. And there's a hell of a lot more divas, but let's just pick out these four, so therefore we got more options for future videos, recordings. So, what have I picked? I've picked Tori Wilson, my personal favourite from the old times, Lita, Trish Stratus, and my other personal favourite from past times, Mickie James. Trish Stratus is too, but now looking back past all the nostalgia, if they're passed from the nostalgia, I do think that, my opinion, Lita and Mickie James were that much better. So we had the brilliance of Mickie James. She was such a great person she must have been quite intelligent to be able to play that role at that time. Because I remember thinking, oh, she's coming right. Oh no, she's not, because I was only just starting high school when she came out. 2003, I was second year high school, so you're still figuring out woman at that stage. I had a really good upbringing. Not really good, but stable family. So that's why I was still figuring out this day. We're still figuring out till the day we die, but yeah. She just played perfectly the persona of some girls I knew around that time, because even though I went to an all boys high school, Hastings Boys High School, they had proms, they had all these other stuff and days with the Hastings Girls High School. And of course at that time I was going to church every week, so it had 500 or so members in the church, plenty of girls there, and we would do stuff like maybe twice a week, and then there was the church service, so usually after church service and on the youth group night, and occasionally other times youth group night was on Wednesday and Friday. So that's it, yeah. And she played the role really well. To me, she was just all over the place, because you're still figuring out who you are on this stage. So the fact that she had those ponytails and she's like, oh, Trish, you're my favourite, and she was just such a brilliant character. The person was playing her, whether her name is Mickie James in real life or not, I don't know, but she did a really great job. It's really fun looking at her. And how she used to sprint to the ring and throw her arms around oh yeah, but then at any moment, if you really upset her equilibrium, would I say, or her emotional status, she can put you out, which explains why she became a 5-time women's champion. So Mickie James was Lita, and I'm trying to focus on things that, as I said in previous recordings, I try and focus on things that either you may not have heard before, or you may not have heard in a long time, because there's all these stuff that get repeated and repeated and repeated, and they're really cool stories, but you hear them all the time, so. Or if you think, actually I noticed some things about that character they were portraying that I didn't notice before, or I don't hear very often, then I'll try and put those ones on. So there's a lot more I could say about Mickie James. Such an amazing character, but it's been said by many fans and other things like that before. So let's carry on to Trish Stratus. Well, for a long time she was the babe of the WWE, wasn't she? So, she could do pretty much anything. You'd think she was amazing. Only time I really started questioning her is when she was with the character of Vince McMahon. That got me really questioning things. Really did, because yeah. I know I was a hot blood teenager at the time. Actually, no, I wouldn't been quite. If it was 2001, yeah, I was 13. If it was 2000, then yeah, I was 12. So Trish Stratus, just an amazing. Well, she was an entertainer for her time too. So I think that she wasn't the best in the ring in comparison to Mickie James and Lita, but entertainment-wise, superstar-wise, look-wise, she was the best. She definitely played the role that make you, as an adult, it can really make you laugh, because it's like you can see why a woman like that would actually get away with it in real life. You can see all of that because she's just. I know that the thing is we have morals and we have standards and we have all that type of stuff, but us guys, when a woman is that attractive and when a woman actually wants to be with you, whether it's because of your whatever reason, even if it is just because of your money, it brings a massive, well, I haven't actually been in that situation with someone that attractive, but with attractive woman anyway, it just brings this massive boost in your ego, in your confidence and all that. And if you don't, and I was always able to control those things, but you can understand why the others wouldn't. So she played the perfect role of the housebreaker and all that type of thing, and the perfect role of the teenage boys want to have a look at some eye candy, She did really well, and I hope she's living a blessed life. I hope all of them are. As far as Lita, she was a hot babe too, real hot, but she actually had in-ring ability. I look back and, as an adult, I realised what had actually happened to her, that she had been in a lot of physical matches with guys. Whether she came to agreement with that or not, I don't agree with what they were portraying, I don't agree with what they were portraying. Haven't agreed in a while. But as a teenager, you're just thinking about the Hardy Boys and all that type of thing. The brothers are together and the team, and Matt and Jeff are big and tough enough to take out the other ones, or But I actually think that out of all these 4 women that I've mentioned, Lita is obviously the best when it comes to high flying. When it comes to altogether ring ability, I think her and Mickie James are equal. Because I think, in my humble opinion, Mickie James is better at the ground game. Mickie James is better at selling, all that type of thing. Was. Don't know if still is. But Lita was high energy, great tag team wrestler, great storyteller. She played the role of, if you look back at Edge and Lita and Matt Hardy, she actually wasn't that evil, but she actually played it so well to make you believe it was. She did it so well that make you forget the 2 times that the character Matt Hardy had actually dumped her on Monday Night Raw, or was it SmackDown, before. That is how good she was at selling herself as a heel and as a face. So she's phenomenal. So, the 4th one is Tori Wilson. Again, she's eye candy, and to me, she's the eye candy and entertaining and all that type of thing. Great for the storylines, great to be a secretary for Vince McMahon and all that type of thing. But nah, she wouldn't be able to get in the ring these days. She'd be a ring announcer and that's about it. As for the Four Horsemen, the one I can relate to the most is Becky Lynch, because she was the one that was always busting her ass like the other four girls, but she was always that far behind. But then she eventually caught up and started succeeding. Kind of reminds me of me and a lot of my relatives, or me and people I used to know, that I've kind of catch up to them. And my relatives, they were always really gifted but didn't put the hard yards in, or they got on drugs or something like that. And I'm still going hard, and I was nowhere near as talented as them, but I don't want to say I'm making more of my life, because a couple of cousins in particular have now got families, so I guess you could say they're well off in that area. But I have gone a lot further in regards to job prospects and everything like that in comparison to what I should be, and they haven't gone anywhere of what they're capable of doing. So, but I still want to raise a family and all that. I think it's just I just have to look at things as glass half full. Maybe the whole thing was to get me to get my shit together. Figure things out, Anyway, Becky Lynch, great promo, great character. You have to just realise it's just entertainment and look past the size, and how in real life she would be probably squashed by someone like Nia Jax or Ronda Rousey, or I don't know how much real fighting she's done. But yeah. And then we have one of them that I used to find annoying that now I fully understand. Well, not fully, but I have a decent understanding. And that would be Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair, the one that was always ahead of the curve and always the one that was the best. She's not the best anymore, because they all have turns and they're all pretty equal to each other. But Charlotte Flair was the one who's won like a 9-time WWE Women's Champion. At the time, Becky Lynch had only won it once. Now she's won, 3 or 4 times. So, again, I believe in the might is right thing, Equality. The equality that we're taught today is a lie. We have equal opportunity. But there's natural abilities that everyone has in certain areas. And in other areas, it's other people who have those natural abilities. If you think that being equal means getting the same outcome as everybody else in whatever it is you're doing, that's not equality. Equality is an equality of opportunity, and may the best man win. So this is where I now like the character of Charlotte Flair. She's still really arrogant, but still. Third one, Bayley. I love the fact that how Bayley was gone heel, because when she was a face, because there was whenever members of my family needed a hand, especially like the certain cousins and aunties and uncles, like all my siblings, and that first one would be me who gets the call to get given a hand, to go give a hand, and I would do it to keep the family together and walk together as a team, and I'd put my own needs to the side for the sake of the family, and I want my best. And some of my friends weren't visiting me, I'd go out of my way to keep the friendship going, all that type of thing. I was always involved with community work, so that whole Bailey smiles and hugs and all that type of stuff. I wasn't maybe hugging everyone, but I was the one that was trying to, willing to look past my own needs for others. And then there was a dark spell, because I came to the full realization and acceptance. It took a while for me to get